Hi, we're here with John Cerasuolo, President of ADS Security. John, how are you?
I'm doing well. Welcome to Nashville. Nice to have you here.
Thank you so much for talking with us. It's always a pleasure. You're no stranger to the industry. Let me ask you what the best piece of business advice you've ever received was.
So, this piece of advice I've received about business was not to evade reality. A lot of business people tend to want to see things as they'd like them to be instead of just facing up to the facts of the situation. And I think a lot of times that leads business people to delay important decisions that they know they have to make. So facing up to reality and dealing with facts as they are as opposed to as you would like them to be.
What would you say to some, young security professionals just entering the industry? What would be the best thing that they could take with them?
Well, this is a great time to be joining this industry. So, as you know, I've only been in the industry for 4.5 years, so I'm a relative newcomer. Although I'm not young, I'm a relative newcomer. So I think this is a great industry for creative people that are willing to take a little bit of a different look. Our industry is very traditional in a lot of ways, and I think the industry is ripe for new folks that can come in and without the blinders of the history of the industry, take a fresh look at things, try some new things, and I think that's going to be really the growth of the industry is in directions that are different than what kind of the ground we've plowed in the past.
Right. You mentioned some new things entering the industry. One of those things are interactive services we're seeing everywhere. How do you see that impacting, the mom and pop security integration and monitoring company?
Yeah, so I think in my mind this is going to be one of those things that really separates out folks. So I think companies, whether they're mom and pop, small companies, or large companies, what's going to be most important is not the size of your company, but your willingness to adapt to, again, the new reality. So customers that are willing to face up to the fact that our business is different than it used to be. Our customers are expecting more, are demanding more, are looking for more, are willing to pay for more. I think companies, no matter what their size is, if you're prepared to play in this new territory, in this new ground, and try some new things and be creative, I think there's going to be a great future. I think it's going to be challenging for companies that try to do things in a few years ahead of us the same way they did them in the past.
Right. How do you see the emergence of telco companies impacting ADS security?
So the way I look at that is they're going to impact us on the margins for sure. Anytime you have a new entrant in an industry, in a market, there's going to be some impacts. There's going to be some customers that we're going after that they're going to win, and vice versa. But I think the real impact is not so much going to be on the margins where we might compete together, but more broadly the new customers that they're going to attract to the industry. So I think we're going to benefit much more by having the opportunity to present our services to customers that have seen what the telephone companies are offering and now come to us and look for it. I think that's going to be a much bigger factor than the few on the margins that we might lose to them when we compete head-to-head. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen traction from that at ADS? Are you seeing a higher education level in your customers or potential customers?
Yeah, so, and again, it's not just the phone companies, it's the cable TV companies, it's home improvement stores like Lowe's that are introducing some new things. So the fact that those folks are out there spending money promoting new services that we can deliver has resulted in a lot of customers coming to us and saying, yeah, I saw it on TV, can you guys do this? Or then when we do communicate with them, they say, yeah, you know what, I've heard that. I think that is something interesting because they saw a commercial or about it on the internet or something like that. So we're already starting to see a more educated customer base on the services, and I thank those that are spending a lot of money advertising. So we don't have the money to do it. I'm happy to have them do it for us.
So what do you say to the potential customers that say, why do I go with ADS rather than Comcast?
Sure. So, that's actually a pretty easy question for our folks to answer. We're a local company, although we're across the Southeast in 14 markets. We pride ourselves as being the hometown company that provide a level of touch and customer service that the others can't. And like it or not, cable TV companies do not have a great reputation for customer service. So we'll talk about the local monitoring and the local service and the support. We'll share feedback that we get from customers as to what they think about us. We share that with respect to new customers. And that tends to put us on a different plane than the phone company or cable company.
Right. So really providing that customer service and showing those.
That's just not an area that they're really going to be able to do. So they'll be able to meet with us on technology, and they'll have a lot more marketing dollars than we do, but they're not going to be able to compete with us when it comes to customer service and customer support and the customer engagement that really is important to build a strong relationship.
Okay. Do you see any other trends impacting the industry, IT bars, anything that we should be looking out for on the horizon?
So, the kind of trends that concern me are not so much trends within the industry, but influences from outside the industry. So, healthcare costs and the issues that we're dealing with in that realm, the uncertainty around taxes and regulation. To me, those are much more of a concern because we don't have the chance to adapt and overcome those issues.
Right.
The industry issues we can adapt and overcome.
Absolutely.
So what most concerns me is that we get our country back on track, get to a very a regulatory and tax framework and healthcare framework that we can plan for and understand what's ahead for us as opposed to the uncertainty.
You brought up healthcare. What about the aging baby boomers? How does this play into this area?
Sure. So in addition to the healthcare issues, of course, with our employees and partner employees, there is the opportunities that come about, and I think that's going to open up avenues that we probably don't even understand. There are the traditional avenues that we have of medical monitoring and things like that today. But I think there's going to be a whole lot of new things. Folks are going to want to stay in their homes longer, and there are things that we can do for customers, whether that's video services or home management, home control services that these new technologies are starting to offer and probably going to do a lot more in the future. So I think that's going to be a hot area, and I think we're just really at the very beginning of seeing what kind of solutions we can give customers.
Right. Is there anything that ADS is doing now to plan for that? Any messaging for marketing, or is this something that we're just starting to feel?
For us, we've got a couple of major initiatives that we're focusing on this year, and PERS and kind of senior solutions is not one of them yet, but it's on our radar screen. We're kind of sitting on the sidelines watching what's happening, because we have the bandwidth and the opportunity to go make a move.
Right. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, John. Your insight's always valuable. I appreciate your time.
Really great to see you. Thanks for coming to Nashville.